We are going to continue our study of the second letter of Peter to his Jewish brethren believers in the Mashiach. The title itself is important because that already gives you most of the understanding that you should have as far as the context behind this letter. Many people make the mistake of considering the New Testament Christian literature, whereas they call the Tanakh Jewish literature, when in reality, they're one and the same. Peter is a Jew, Yeshua is a Jew, and the audience that Peter speaks to are Jewish people with background in Torah. And in the previous chapter, we've discussed how basically Peter summed up the Torah by telling them to add to their faith goodness, then knowledge, then self-control, then perseverance, then godliness, then brotherly affection, and then love. And that really sums up the entirety of the Torah. For as Yeshua said himself, on this hangs the entire Torah and the prophets, that you love Adonai your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your being, and out of your love for him, you shall love your fellow brother, human being as yourself. And that is what the Torah is all about. Sure, there are many different sections and many different commandments, the specifics, but they all hang on a principle of love. And that is what Peter is talking about. Now, when we say love, many people tend to be loosey-goosey and consider love something that they can not take so seriously. Well, love, it's just, you just love. But to love God specifically is to prioritize him and obey his commandments. Just as a child who loves his father. If you love your father, what do? You want to please your father. You do what he tells you. You can't say you love your father and then go against his will. And what is God's will? That we be holy, that we be pure, that we cleanse ourselves. See, everything Peter was telling them to do all came from the understanding that these people were followers of the Mashiach. They were believers who surrendered their lives to God and received the spirit of sanctification, known as the Holy Spirit. Really, it is the spirit of holiness. They were people who are in the game, they are making the effort, they are on the team. And he was coaching the players on the team. He wasn't coaching the strangers and the people on the outside. And the people who are on the team are those who strive to reach that goal of spiritual purity, the cleanliness of their mind, so that their thoughts are governed by love, which is the likeness of God. God is love. And love is always pure. It is self-sacrificing. It is given of itself. It does not offend. It does not boast. It is not easily angered. And the list goes on and on.
Well, doesn't that sound nice? And it's true for some of you. And many of you hear this and you say, that's not my problem. And it's not. For others of you, you hear this and it sounds like an impossible dream. It's so out of touch, out of reality, out of reach for you. It's so inconceivable to do that, practice that, or be that. And for others, it's just a run-of-the-mill state of normalcy. And isn't that the way it should be? The real miracle is normalcy. Normalcy is the real miracle. Even famous people, they say they wish they could just be normal. They can't even go out on a date They can't even be with their family without constant interruptions or people taking pictures and trying to hear their conversations. They can't be normal. That's the price. You sold your soul to fame and celebrity and popularity, ego and pride. There's got to be something given in exchange for that since you sold your soul. You don't get nothing for nothing. You definitely don't get something for nothing. And when you make a deal with the devil, and I mean the devil is anything that is adversarial to that which God desires for us, doesn't always have to be something mystical or some dark being with pointed ears and fanged teeth. The devil can be your own ambition. You're going to exchange something. There is a price you're going to have to pay for accepting that loan from the mob. There's a price you're going to have to pay. You might get a little something you want, but the price you're going to pay is going to be bigger than what you got in exchange. Well, chapter 2, but among the people, there were also false prophets. But among the people, there were also false prophets, just as there will be false teachers among you.
So you're telling me this isn't new?
No, there's always some con artist, somebody has a new idea, somebody selling snake oil from their horse-drawn carriage in the back of their trailer and their cannabis farm somewhere in the grove of Northern California, some backwoods cave in Sedona, Arizona.
Well, who was the first false teacher? Wasn't it the serpent at the tree? Giving them false instructions, contradicting the word of God?
And why are lies so successful? Well, I hate to say it, but it would seem to me from all of my conversations with people, and anecdotally speaking, my own personal experience, people want to be lied to. Oh, hi. Oh, you like my dress? Notice the way I said that. Notice the tone, the lift. Do you know linguistic temperament, elocution? Can't you tell from the way I said that what I'm expecting you to say? It's linguistic suggestion. Without actually asking the question, you can speak it in a way where you infer the answer that you were expecting and they know they better reply to. People often say that. Oh my gosh, you're friends with him? No, that's just a question, right? I could say, oh, are you friends with him? You see the difference? Elocution linguistics. You are telling them what you expect and what you will not accept. You mean to tell me you're friends with him? Ah, it's on paper, it looks fine. But if you heard me say it, you can hear more than what's written on paper. Oh, well, no, not really. I just met him. Ah, you hear that response? As opposed to, yes, he is my friend. See the difference? Well, no. Oh, well, I mean, I don't really know him that well. You hear? You see that? On paper, the way you speak, you communicate what you never say. False teachers amongst you, under false pretenses, they will introduce destructive heresies. They will introduce things that are going to destroy your faith. Just listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson if you want your faith destroyed. Richard Dawkins or any imam in some Muslim Sunni or Shia mosque if you want your faith destroyed. Listen to your average Christian pastor if you want your faith destroyed. Listen to the theologian, the seminarian. Listen to the Zohar geniuses in rabbinical Judaism if you want your faith destroyed. Even denying the master who bought them, who bought them and brought them, and thus bring on themselves swift destruction. You will deny, you'll sell your own mother, you'll sell your own father, you'll sell your own God, you'll throw him under the bus.
Well, I remember that we got a question once about how do we avoid false teachers. Remember that when we did a live study some time ago? And it's such an interesting question, right? How do you avoid false teachers? Well, you're not supposed to, really. The purpose that no teacher can deny or change is your heart and your love for God. See, if you truly love God, love is something that is progressive. It's not a static, it's progressive. You grow in your love, and because you love, you constantly seek more. See, I started off with wrong teachers teaching me all kind of stuff, but here I am now. Why? Because I never stayed. I wasn't content with this level of understanding. And as you grow and you seek God in your heart, the Lord will reveal to you his truth, and he will put people in your path to teach you the truth. So when people are continually following these false teachers, it's because they want to. It's because they have itching ears and they want someone to teach them what they want to hear. It's not that complicated to understand, really.
Exactly. No, it isn't. You are what you seek. You do what you want. You hear what you want to believe. Self hypnosis and psychosis. You don't need really any help. You're doing a fine job destroying yourself. He said, self destructive. And what's addiction but destructive? Self destructive. Many will follow their debaucheries, and because of them, the true way will be maligned. Well, yeah, the Sabbath day on Sunday, that's not a Sabbath day. You don't even worship the first day of the week, Sunday, as a Sabbath. Even you who call it your Sabbath and you argue your theological justification for picking the wrong day, and it's not really picking a day, it's ignoring the one that God established. You're not telling a theologian, you're not telling a Jew. The Jew didn't come up with the Sabbath days. Why are you calling it under the law? Sabbath isn't under the law. And for those of you who claim, well, my Sabbath is Sunday. No, it isn't. Did you shut down your house at Saturday sundown and turn the lights back on sundown Sunday? You don't even worship on your false day as a proper Sabbath. All lies, all lies, debaucheries, because of them. The true way is malign. The true Sabbath is malign. Tell somebody his name is Yeshua, and they look at you funny. Well, why? I don't have to call him that. Well, that's his name. What should I call you? Words that I can't use on the podcast? You want someone to call you by the wrong name? In their greed, they will exploit you with fabricated stories. Well, that's Disney, Nickelodeon, Marvel, Pixar, fantasy books, all of the politicians, fabricated stories. In all kinds of ways, people love to be lied to. They pay you to lie to them. They call it story time in the movie theaters. Lie to me. And you'll spend more time, 2 hours. I can get people to watch a lying, fictitious movie. But if I tell them to sit down in 2 hours and study God's word, they won't do that. Their punishment decreed long ago is not idle. Their destruction is not asleep. For God did not spare the angels who sinned. On the contrary, he put them in gloomy dungeons, lower than Sheol, to be paid for judgment. So they are even below Sheol. There are various tiers of heaven and there are tiers of hell. T-I-E-R-S, not T-E-A-R-S. Different levels. And they are even lower for judgment. They're held for judgment. Hold them over for trial. That's what we say. Hold them over until trial. You're being held for judgment until your trial date. And he did not spare the ancient world. On the contrary, he preserved Noah, a herald of righteousness. Now, a herald of righteousness infers this man was loud and declarative and proclaiming, and he wasn't whispering. He was a herald of righteousness with 7 others, and brought the flood upon a world of ungodly people. And brought the flood upon a world of ungodly people. If he didn't spare them, what do you think he's going to do to you?
Well, but you know what Christians say? The Old Testament is angry God. The New Testament is loving God. It's a God that can do no harm. We're under grace.
That's not even worthy of a response. Sometimes I don't even want to even respond to foolish thinking. It just exposes just how ignorant you are to hold such a view. No need to even respond to that. Else you can never speak the truth, too busy responding to people about their lies. I'd rather just speak the truth of God rather than respond to a litany of lies. Ungodly people. And he condemned the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, reducing them to ashes and ruin, as a warning to those in the future who would live ungodly lives. Now, I want you to hear that. Why did he do that? As a warning. Why did God flood the world? Why did God destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? As a warning to you and I and every human thereafter that would come and be born. Look what I did there. What do you think I'm going to do to you? Don't go down that path. And many of you who continue to go down that path have proven that you don't believe it, which means your judgment will be imminent because you mock God. Why? As a sign for future generations. That's powerful. Who would dare be tempted to live an ungodly life? He rescued Noah. He rescued Lot, a righteous man who was distressed by the debauchery of those unprincipled people. A lot of you are not distressed. You are. That's why you don't like to talk to me and Guy. You don't want to call. You don't want to email. You don't want to visit. What stresses you is talking to somebody who's not talking about evil and wickedness and spreading lies, who all we want to do is talk about God's word and worship and fellowship. You don't want to talk to us. But you have no problem every day dealing with unprincipled people and being surrounded by people that are half-baked, if baked at all. You have no problem being surrounded by lies, foolish conversation. You have no problem. You just don't like us. But if you were righteous, you would be distressed by all of those other people you are around, which is normal. That's the kind of stress you should be experiencing. But you're not stressed by evil. You're not stressed by the environment of evil, the environment of evil people around your offices. You're not stressed by the people in your neighborhood. You're not stressed by all of the people you have to walk and see in the stores. You're only stressed by Guy and I. That says a lot about who you are. righteous people are stressed under the environment of being around unprincipled people. It's very uncomfortable. For their wicked deeds, which the righteous man saw and heard as he lived among them. Well, no, you're stressed by a righteous man that has your telephone number or email. That's the one you can't stand to talk to. You're not running away from where you work, or where you play, where you shop, where you work out. And for many of you, where you attend church. Oh, no. No, no, no. You're comfortable. As Yeshua said, lying is your native tongue. Lot stayed inside his house. He's a prisoner like me, surrounded by wickedness, unprincipled people, from the wicked deeds that constantly he's surrounded by. Where he lived among them, tormented his righteous heart day after day. Well, now you know how I live. So the Lord knows how to rescue the godly from trials and how to hold the wicked until the day of judgment while continuing. So he can do a double edge, rescue his man and judge the ones who've been stressing his man out. I'm going to do that. That's why the Bible describes it as the great and terrible day. Great for the children of God, terrible for the ones who aren't. Especially those who follow their old nature. Back to the bottle, you drunkard, you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven. Back to your vapes and your cigarettes and your meth and your mushrooms and your cannabis, your meth, heroin, your cocaine, your bath salts. Disgusting. The Lord knows how to rescue me. You, if you're righteous. God, he knows. For others of you, not so much. There's no rescue, there's judgment coming. Because why? You wanted to follow your old nature in lust for filth, and you despise authority. People don't like to listen to people that have spiritual rulership. God, that's the fivefold ministry, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the pastors, rabbis, people that God has put like a police officer, doctor, fireman, judge. The spiritual positions, they are a position of authority over you. You should listen. Presumptuous. Many of you are very presumptuous. Self-willed. Not my will, but your will be done, God. No, these are self-willed. These false teachers do not tremble at insulting angelic beings. Whereas angels, though stronger and more powerful, do not bring before the Lord an insulting charge against them. These humans, teachers, are so arrogant, they think they can fight angels.
And not just angels. How many times have we heard people make fun of Peter? Oh, Peter has foot-and-mouth disease. You fool. You dare insult the servant of the Lord? What do you think he's going to do to you? Just look at what God did to Aharon, the high priest, and Miriam, the sister of Moshe, when they talked about him behind his back and he struck them with leprosy. Tzara'at. The Lord does not tolerate and is not tolerant of people insulting his people, because when you are a servant of God, you bear his name. You become an extension of him. Yeshua said, anyone who receives you receives me. Anyone who rejects you rejects me. If you make fun or insult angelic beings or the servants of God, you are indirectly insulting God. and he will take vengeance upon his enemies.
Yes, that's true. Just as he said, when did I see you hungry and did not feed you, naked and did not clothe you, alone and did not visit you? As you've done unto them, you've done unto me. Whoever does not receive you does not receive me. If they don't receive you, wipe the dust off your feet. Do not leave your shalom with them. God bless you. You can't be giving your blessing to people like that. The Lord tells you not to do that. There's a difference. And don't misinterpret the verse, bless them that curse you. Pray for them that despitefully use you. That's the Beatitudes. We're going to have to break that down for you another day. Do not bring before the Lord an insulting charge against them. But these people, acting without thinking, speaking before thinking, not counting the cost, like animals without reason, born to be captured and destroyed, insult things about which they have no knowledge. There's a lot of people, you just condemn and insult things you have no knowledge about. Just have to just say something.
So that makes me think of the scientists, the DNA research. What do they used to call it up until recently? Junk DNA. Oh, only really 5% or 10% of DNA is good. Everything else is junk. They used to insult the intelligent design of God for decades. Only recently they found out, guess what? It's not junk at all. But they do not understand, and they already are biased to think, oh, we're just born by accident, mistake. Surely there's no purpose. All of this junk DNA is just there. Yeah, they're gonna end up eating their own words when the Lord comes to his judgment. But you insult things that you have no knowledge about, like people who insult Yeshua in Israel, insult their own Mashiach. Atheists who insult God. I see it all the time in Israel. People make fun of God all the time.
Lord, help us. Makes me sad. Makes me so sad. Insult things by which they have no knowledge. When they are destroyed, their destruction will be total, and they will be paid back harm as wages for harm they are doing. The wages of sin is death. Don't worry, everybody gets paid. You who came in early and stayed late, you've earned a good wage when God comes to judge. You who didn't just do the hours that you were scheduled, you worked extra hours, you volunteered even without pay. God sees that. You who went the extra mile, God sees that. You who've been generous and giving, God sees that. Don't think he doesn't. God honors people that honors his people that honors him. The Lord will not overlook your mitzvahs, but he will overlook any mitzvah that's not done in the spirit of love and sincerity, not for your own pride and recognition. Then you have your reward. Got to submit to the authority that Papa has put over your lives. Their idea of pleasure is carousing in broad daylight. You know, everybody wants to be out and about. That's their pleasure, carousing in daylight. They are spots and defects, reveling in their deceptions as they share meals with you. For they have eyes always on the lookout for a woman. Many of you need to stop going to the grocery store and need to order your food because you cannot stop surveilling the meat market that's walking in front of you. Always who will commit adultery, eyes that never stop sinning. Well, and they have a heart that has exercised itself in greed. so that they seduce unstable people. What a cursed brood you are. Women are seducing men. Men are luring, trying to get to women. And most of you love living in that environment. These people have left the straight way, and they wandered off to follow the way of Bilam and Ben Boer, who love the wages of doing harm. There are people that love the darkness, by the way. Oh, they just don't know. Oh, no, they know, and they love it, but was rebuked for his sin. A dumb beast of burden spoke out with a human voice and restrained the prophet's insanity. I don't think they know that story.
Well, if they care to, they can read it for themselves. Bilam and Balak. Bilam riding on a donkey, the angel standing in the middle of the road with a drawn sword. Bilam started kicking the donkey. Hey, get going, get going. And he was so blind that the donkey had to rebuke him. Can't you see the angel with a sword in his hand? What's wrong with you, blind prophet? Because he was blind.
Even an animal can see an angel. Wow. These are cursed broods. Greed. Licking your chops about that mortgage, commercial real estate deal, that contract, that commission. Whenever I find that something has too much value in my life, I give it away. These people have left the straight way. They've wandered off to follow the way of Bilam and Boer. That's the point. You were walking the straight way. You went crooked. You decided you wanted to go the way of wickedness. Waterless springs. Now, granted, the majority of this text, as we're applying it in a generic sense, but the letter is talking about these false teachers, these people that have come amongst them, like these television preachers and people who just send me $10 and I'll send you a miracle cloth. People who have left the straight way to manipulate people for personal gain.
Well, when I was working back in the day at a kiosk, we had a guy. It was just like that. He came in, he saw how we make money, he understood, and then he said, hey, I can make a lot of money on the side here if I just rig the receipts and say I sold more than I did and then sell some for cash when they're not looking. And then he start poisoning the other employees and then they go and open their own business on the side. But these things happen all the time. Waterless springs they are. Don't you hate a waterless spring?
Yes.
The promise of water, and when you arrive, there is nothing there. Just
Well,
like
the
the fig tree.
I didn't even know that was the next verse. Oh, well. Waterless springs, and just like the fig tree, the Lord cursed it. It didn't produce any fruit. A mist driven by a gust of wind, for them has been reserved the blackest darkness. Preacher in the fire. So, see, this was the verse that Preachers in the Fire was based upon, even though I didn't think of this verse when I wrote the song.
Well, we'll put it at the end of this message.
Yeah, we should, because that's the one who's going to suffer the most. Parents and preachers, mouthing grandiosities of nothingness, big time speakers. They play on a desire of the old nature in order to seduce with debaucheries people who have just begun to escape from the wrong. Well, think about it. Oh, yes, I'll come to the Lord. Yes, I'll come. Pray to the Mother Mary. Yeah. People that have a simple faith and they just pounce and just take it over. They promise them freedom. but they themselves are slaves of corruption. Oh, just for $1,000, you can have a lifetime membership to this timeshare at this Christian resort. For a person, a slave to whatever has defeated him.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense because think about it. When you come out of something, you're still vulnerable. It's still in your muscle memory. You still have a taste for it. So the devil comes along with half truth, half lie. Like we said earlier, the best lies are mixed in with the truth. Give them 80% truth and 20% lie. That's enough to take them off course. So the devil says, oh, yes, this is a Christian strip club. It is a Christian bar. Well, we pray before we wrestle. Well, the butchery is for people who have just begun to escape and you're right back in it, except now you're twice the son of hell because now you've mixed in the holy with the unholy and you've united the Mashiach with a prostitute.
Wow. They promised them freedom, but they themselves are slaves of corruption. So a person is a slave to whatever has defeated him. Whatever has defeated you is your master. Indeed, if they have once escaped the pollutions of the world through knowledge, if you had once stopped drinking, the Lord and the deliverer, Yeshua the Messiah, and then go back again entangled and defeated by them, your latter condition is worse than your former one. You don't get better by constantly falling down, falling back, actually. Falling down and falling back are two different things. I want you to chew on that for a moment. Falling down and falling back are two different things. We all can fall down, but to fall back is different.
Well, fall down would be the one-time event. You had a moment of weakness. Falling back, you're back in that lifestyle now. You're back living with that woman. That's not a one-time thing and a lack of judgment. One night stand, that could be a one night, I had a moment of weakness. Your father just died. You were weak, whatever, right? But if you go back into that life, now you had a one night stand and now you're resuming the relationship, well, that's different.
And many kids, when they see their parents' hypocrisy, it gives them a license in their mind to be wicked and not righteous. Because many kids will try to be righteous because the parents they assume are doing the right thing. And their motivation is not the principle of righteousness. Their motivation is the example of righteousness. While we should be examples, that is not the motivation. You're not righteous because somebody else is righteous. That might encourage you or help you along, but you're righteous simply because it's the right thing to do. But in our sinful nature, looking for a scapegoat to continue in sin. Well, that preacher stole money. I'm going to say, well, that preacher was having an affair. Forget that. I was faithful. I was trying to be faithful. I'm going to cheat now. As if, as long as Joshua is alive, the people followed God. And when the older generation died, that's it. The authorities are gone. The elders are gone. The preacher's gone. Now we can go back and do what we really want to do. There you go. You can't hide behind that. It doesn't work. It might explain, but it doesn't work, nor is it an excuse. Whether my father or mother go or not, I'm going to go. Whether I found out that they weren't that, they did that, why repeat their sin? Why not do better than they did? You want to make more money than they did, but you don't want to be more righteous than they are. You want to get more education than they had, but you don't want to be more knowledgeable of the revelations of God. Well, the truth is, you just don't want God. In all these other areas, you don't mind doing more than your parents, richer than your parents, bigger house than your parents, living longer than your parents, all kinds of things. But you never say, I want to be more righteous. I hope I can be as righteous as they were. You use your parents as an excuse for your sin. You never told me, you never showed me the right thing to do. God did. You were a hypocrite. God is not. You mean you don't follow the Lord for the ones who are not hypocrites, but you will reject the Lord because of a hypocrite? That doesn't make sense. But they're not going to escape. They've entangled, gone back to their ways, escaped Messiah, and then again entangled themselves. Their latter condition will be worse. It would have been better for them not to have ever known the way of righteousness than fully knowing to turn from the holy command delivered to them. It would have been better had you never known than to come to full knowledge of God's call to you or his knowledge that he's revealed to you and then turn away.
So this verse, goes hand in hand. I think in the book of Hebrews it says the same thing. The unforgivable sin, really. It's not about stumbling and committing a sin against God and like, oh, you don't understand what I did. No, this is knowing the righteousness, experiencing the goodness of God, and then pretty much saying, oh, you know what? Actually, I like it better over there. This is the unforgivable sin because, like we just read to you, if you've already been made righteous, you've been on the path, and now you turn your mind around, you start plowing, and then you turn back. Well, what else can be done for you? Now, as it says in the book of Hebrews, you're crucifying him again. He already died for you. You want to kill him again by the fact that you go back into sin? There is no atonement for that. You've already been redeemed, and you've rejected it.
Well, man has laws very similar: manslaughter, premeditated, all kinds of things that they try to adjudicate. What state of mind was he in his full capacity? Did he have full mental capacity? Did he have a momentary lapse of judgment because of some traumatic event that caused him to have insanity? Why? Because if it cannot be established that you just had some sort of insane moment, some drug thing, that medication that made your brain snap, you're going to be fully responsible under the full weight of the law for the punishment and the consequences of it. Can't say the devil made you did it unless you can prove he did. And even if you prove he didn't make you do it. You see, you have within your capacity to be judged by, you knew very well what you were doing when you killed your mother, when you killed your friend. You knew exactly what you were doing. Your Honor, we looked at his internet post and record. He was researching how to bury a body under sand. Isn't it ironic we find the mother buried under sand? That was a week before his alleged, she slapped me and I lost my mind. No, you planned it. And we can check the stuff you bought at the hardware store. You were systematically, categorically planning the murder, the crime, the robbery. You're leaving a lot of cookies, a lot of trails for the Lord to indict you. Powerful. It would have been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than fully knowing to turn from the holy command delivered to them. What has happened to them accords with the truth proverb: a dog returns to its own vomit. Yes, the pig washed itself only to wallow in the mud. The pig washed himself only to wallow in the mud. Usually you're in the mud and you go to take a shower to wash off. The opposite is what many are doing. You wash yourself, appear to be white sepulchres, whitewash, Yeshua says, while on the inside you are dead men's bones, rotting flesh. So the pig washes itself because it's about to go and get in the mud.
Well, yeah, people want to get clean before they get dirty. you know. But we talk about it all the time, how I hate it when I take my shower and then I realize I forgot I gotta do something, and I'm like, oh, I just took a shower. I gotta take out the trash. It's the worst thing, isn't it?
Yes.
You just took a shower and now you're gonna do something and get dirty again.
You're an uptown preacher, but a downtown preacher, you're a liar. Downtown pretender and uptown defender, but a liar. How could you think you'd ever get away with it? God ain't playing, 'cause tired you're in. You tried to fake it, but can't get by. You're going in the fire. Yeah. You're nothing but a liar. Yeah. Don't you know that God knows the truth? You ain't fooling no one but you. You're a two-bit imposter and he's had enough. He ain't putting up with you. You're going in the fire. Yeah. You're nothing but a liar. Driving in a Cadillac, living like a jet set, taking all the people's money, never giving any back. One for the money, two for the show, three to get ready, 'cause you gotta go in the fire. Yeah. 'Cause you're nothing but a liar. Yeah. My heart's grown cold 'cause I've fallen behind. I'm way too old and I ain't got time. SOS, save our soul. I'm tired of sitting around. Don't wanna go in the fire, yeah. Tired of being a liar. Oh yeah. You gotta get it together, 'cause you ain't getting better. The signs of the time is all in the weather. Jasmine is coming, ain't no need to run. You can't run from the fire, yeah. You can't run from the fire. Can't run. You can't run from the fire. Run. Run. Oh, can't run. Oh, Jesus said, woe to you scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. You put burdens on men that you do not carry. You pray in public spaces to be seen. Woe to you hypocrites. You shut up heaven and prevent others from going in. You scribes, you Pharisees, you hypocrites. You travel around the world to convert people, only to make them twice the son of hell as you are. They'll rob you, they'll kill you, they'll steal from you, and they'll lead you away to a path to die. How could you think you'd ever get away with it? God, could you think you'd ever get away with it? God, could you think you'd ever get away with it? God ain't playing, 'cause tired you're in. You tried to fake it, but can't get by. You're going in the fire. Yeah. You're nothing but a liar. Yeah. Don't you know that God knows the truth? You ain't fooling no one but you. You're a two-bit imposter and he's had enough. He ain't putting up with you. You're going in the fire. Yeah. You're nothing but a liar. Driving in a Cadillac, living like a jet set, taking all the people's money, never giving any back. One for the money, two for the show, three to get ready, 'cause you gotta go in the fire. You're going in, you're going in. You're going in the fire, yeah. Can't run. You're going in. Preacher, you can't run. You're going in. Can't run. Preacher, you can't run.